Welcome to KJTV, and we want to discuss about a very vexing question: is it possible to believe in God without rites of religion? And to expound something on this, believing in God and being associated with a religion, an organized religion like going to church, is it possible that we have some people who are they believe in God that but they don't subscribe to going to church? According to the Pew Review research recently, they found that Americans are deeply religious people, and atheists are no exception in America. Western Europeans are deeply secular people, and the Christians are no exception. Americans are much more religious than Western Europeans, where they ask different questions and what they got different answers. Uh, it's on that research which they conducted uh, somewhere in Europe and the US. Uh, the result was amazing. That is what they found. Uh, they found that atheists are more religious than Christians in some regions, and this is how they had broken down. They compared the others in US and and the West European countries. In West European countries, those who they say religion is very important in their lives is 11% in Western European, but in US it's 53%. Attend religious service at least monthly in Western Europe is 22%, while in US is 50%. They pray daily, only 11% in West Europe, 55 in US. Believe in God with absolute certainty in West Europe is 15%, while in America is 63%. Now, when it comes to Christians, those who are in organized religion, they go to church. In West European, among the Christian, only 14% say religion is very important in their life, while in the US, Christian 16% say religion is very important in their life. They attend the religious services. In West Europe, it's 31%, while in US it's 64%. They pray daily, only 18% in Western Europe, while in US it's 80%. They believe in God with absolute certainty. In Western Europe is 23%, while this one is 76%. It's quite amazing. Religious and affiliated, those who do not go to church. In West European, those who believe that religion is important is only 1%, but in US it's 13%. They don't belong to any religion, but they say it's important. They attend religious service, only 9% in US. Who pray daily. In the US is 20%, while in Europe is 2%, and they believe in God, 27%. That is an alarming. So now that becomes something of important. We can put it simply: is church going a gauge of being a godly person? What does it show? So it's amazing that at times we have different ways of how people look at these. Uh, the different belief system we have. We have those who are called Gnostics, where is it possible to be 100% certain? Gnostic, atheist, are those who say that 100% certain there is a God. Gnostic atheist, 100% certain there is no God. Agnostic atheists, they believe in God, but it doesn't claim to know with 100% certainty whether there is God. Agnostic atheists lack belief in God, but doesn't claim to know with certainty whether there is God. Now, that shows how we have different types of people. So there are people who believe in God, but they don't go to church. They don't attend church services. But is it true? What is our model now in the US? We see that many people are church goers. Is it possible that some people go to church, but they are not religious? It's striking that, the image communicates a lot. During this time that we were in a pandemic, what happened is that the churches were closed down because of social distance. So to contain the pandemic, they closed down. And actually, even when they opened, some clubs were open, like liquor stores were open. So even in some church people are complaining that how can they open the liquor store while they are closing the church? So people kept asking about when will they go back to church. And there was this image which I saw, and it catches that clearly. You can see men are asking, when will we return to church? The greater question is, when will we return to God? So you can see that the people who want to return to God are few, but the people who want to go to church are many. Are we caught in this situation where we are just going to church for the sake of going to church instead of really going to God? That is a question to ponder yourself. And we normally are having so many people who are churchgoers. They attend the rites of religion. That's what we call the rites of religion. Organized religion just came up, like the churches came up uh, when you read the history after the crucifixion of Jesus. The apostles who were going around meeting people and arranging them in groups. So then the churches arose. There were pockets of churches everywhere, that the Church of Corinth, the Church of Ephesus, and later on, people raised to be organized like any organization. They had hierarchy, they had a pastor, whatever, bishops, and then the churches were like the Church of Corinth, the Church of Jerusalem will have a bishop. And then later on, after the apostles had died and their followers continued, then there were all bishops who were independent, doing their own things in their local churches. And the Bishop of Rome claimed to be superior, said he's superior than others, and that is how the papacy started. And then now they started listening to the direction from the Bishop of Rome. That's the creation of organized churches, and those who protested, they also started the churches. Then they mixed up with many things, and the religion changed, and then we have all this organized religion. And the people were splitting because of differences, and they started their own churches. And that's what we call organized religion. But is it possible that you can believe in God without believing in organized religion? Because look at so many things which are done in this organized religion. They have been done to be organizations. And some of them are not really interested in saving your soul, but probably the best thing they are doing business in one way. So is it possible that there are some people who don't go to church? Maybe they left going to church because of different reasons. Is it a time that we need to change the model and really work towards a spiritual development where you develop yourself spiritually without really going? Because sometimes there are dogma. There are other people who believe that going to church can save you. I'm only asking the question because it's a question to ponder. Men are asking, when will we return to church? When the greater question should be, when can we return to God? It's a question to ponder, and I would like to hear your comments of what you believe to be true as